Yes.
So, hello, Michael. Thank you very much for having this time with us. I am Yolanda, and he is Jordi. We are writing for Popular One magazine, and also we have our own media, which is Esta REUNIÓN. Yeah. So, thank you very much for having this time with us, and of course, congratulations for the upcoming album that is gonna be released on August. So, how are you?
All right, next month. You're right.
Hmm?
Yeah, I didn't think about it. Next month. Yeah.
Okay, in Giants and Monsters, Halloween mixes singers on the same song. And it is something great, but in some ways, I thought about Avantasia because there are three different singers in one song, but come on, they are the Halloween singers.
I don't understand the question. We have.
No, that I think that for the maybe not for the first time, but in one song, in just one, the first one, Giants on the Run, there are the three Halloween singers singing in the song.
All right.
Yeah. So in it's something closer with Avantasia, but I think it's the future of the Halloween that have you got the three excellent singers can mix the voices and put something really good like this song. I think.
Oh
It
yeah,
was clear from
absolutely.
the
I mean, it's unusual for me. I mean, not anymore, but in the beginning, it was a bit unusual, this idea. But it has only benefits, really. You don't have to sing that much. I mean, live, it's not all just on your shoulder. You have other people sing. You have off time, and when someone is getting sick, you can switch the songs a little. Have the others sing more and stuff like that. But also, I think it is, unless someone hates a particular singer and only wants to hear one, if that's not the case, it's even more entertaining because it's more colorful. You have just more. The whole theatrical thing is just more interesting when you have more than one singer. I mean, we didn't try to become Avantasia. It's just because of we're Kai and I got back into the band and nobody got fired. This is
Yeah.
why we do it all together now. And it just happened that the band had three vocalists over the years, over the career. That's why that took place. But there have been other bands where you're used to it, like Kiss always had two singers, main lead singers. Linkin Park always right from the start had two vocalists and stuff. It's just unusual the way we're doing it, that everybody comes together and does this whole thing now. But I think it's great. It's also more interesting live. There's just more happening.
But I am interested on that because sometimes how you deal with this, because you have to fight also with the egos of all the people. That I'm not saying that that's bad, but how you handle this.
Not really a problem. The egos are not that big anymore.
Okay. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, it is. It is great. I mean, it's like, of course, when a songwriter writes a song, he might have particular things in his head, and if somebody tries to change something, it's always a bit personal. It's your baby, but it never really gets bad. It never gets out of hand. The songwriter doesn't have to say yes to anything if he doesn't like it. And in terms of the vocals, it helps a lot that Andy and I, we really get along great. So there is no ego fight going on at all. It's always about what's cool for the song. I often move things over to him. It's like I gave a song a try. I didn't like it much. You should give it a try, or the other way around. I mean, so far it has not been the slightest problem really. It was more a little bit with Kai sometimes in terms of he would love to sing all his songs today. When he writes something, which is a
yeah.
bit sad because it has a specific magic when I sing his shit, you know, or when I sing, it sounds like the old days, which is something we should use. It wasn't any problem this time. This time he was very smooth and everything. But on the first production, we had long discussions because he wanted to sing Skyfall like almost everything. And I already did vocals for it, and it sounded great, and everybody loved it. It's not that we don't want him to sing, and I love it when he sings. He has his own voice and stuff like that, but it just sounded good. Everybody felt like this is the way it's got to be. And I know he wrote it for my voice because I know when he was writing the song, like in the early stages, he said it to me, oh, it's going to sound so cool when you sing this, blah, blah, blah. Somehow down the line, he changed his mind. But that was actually the only time where we had a long discussion where everybody felt like, no, you should sing this and this, but that should be Michael. You know, it sounds great, sounds the way it should. But with Andy, I don't have that. But it's also, I can sing everything Kai writes. It's kind of natural to me. I don't know. It's probably because we grew up with the same type of band. So everything he writes, I can sing it and it works. But often when Andy writes a song, you can hear that's an Andy song. He just has to sing it. It's just his kind of thing, you know. So I don't even try. Sometimes he wants me to, then I give it a try, and sometimes it works, and then it's cool and stuff. But since we are so different, it is easy to hear, oh, that's something for Michael, or this is something for Andy. I was honestly surprised myself that it was not a problem at all with who sings what. Just a little bit with Skyfall, but that wasn't a fight. It was just talking, you know.
But I have to say that in the last concerts, Halloween concerts that I attended, Kai is singing live more than from the reunification, I think. Am I right?
He's singing live more what?
He's singing live more songs and more room
than before.
You mean like on the first tour compared to the first tour we did? That might be. I don't know. I don't know. He always did his medley, you know, with the. I mean, he sings a lot, but why not? You know, that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. It's just if someone hates his singing, someone would get a problem with that. But I don't think many hate anyone here. I think everybody kind of accepted that this is the way we sound now. I mean, at least that's the impression I have.
Then
who is the guy?
Sorry.
Who is the guy who sings in Growls in Giants on the Run?
I don't think I did. Giants on the Run? I did. Yeah. What was the question?
The Growls.
The Growls. Somebody.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You mean I think that was Kai.
My suggestion was Andy.
Could be. I mean, you know the record better than I do. I haven't listened to it at all. I did the vocals, and I haven't listened to the album at all.
Come on.
I haven't even watched the Budokan video. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Sorry, because my next question was before to listen the album, I was expecting like a 33% of the vocals of each, but I think it's not in the album. This probably you and Andy have, I don't know, 40-40 and Kai the 20. So
yeah,
you agree with me or not?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. I don't know how much he did in the end. But it is wherever it fits. I mean, we have there's quite often there are situations where we feel like that sounds like Kai, you know, he should do that. I even wanted him to do in Universe when he did the talking part, and then there is the singing part in the middle. And I suggested Kai should sing that because he talks before that. So if he sings the next part, he's more longer on the stage, you know, when if we would play that live. But Sasha didn't want it. Sasha wanted me to sing it, so I had to do it afterwards again, you know. But there you go. It's his song, and he had my voice in his head the whole time.
It's a lot of people writing songs. This is incredible. 5 members. You were.
I could too, but I don't even try because we got enough songwriters. But 6 people can write songs actually.
And you don't want to write songs again?
Not yet, but I might. It depends. I mean, I didn't feel like it on the last 2 records. I feel like I don't know. I think the style that defines the band. I know I did contribute on Keeper 1 and 2 with my own material, so I can't say that my style is not part of it. But in general, I would say that Waiki especially and Kai especially when they write songs, this is like the core of the sound that we have. And since we have Sasha writing and Andy writing and even Marcus adding songs, I don't really have to, you know.
I thought that Into the Sun was a song written by you. I thought when you
Yeah.
started to song, it was, oh, it's my
Yeah, it
Hello
was.
Halloween.
I also remember when the first reunion record came out, uh, Out for the Glory. Everybody thought it was a Kai song, but it was actually a Waiki song. Um, um, yeah, I mean, our manager wanted me to sing it because he thought that's really like a Kiske song. I recorded a complete version, but I think Andy wanted to be part of it. It's his baby, and it's a great song. And so the duet version ended up on the album. But they will release the other versions too, with just him or just me. You know, like so will be three versions. Um, yeah, but it's like it's the spiritual kind of theme. It's not just me. It is actually quite strong within the band. You know, we always have had. I mean, even Kai, who is not at all really spiritual. He lives the opposite. I mean, he lives physically like a hedonist. You know, that's his lifestyle. He thinks he's spiritual, but he's not. He doesn't care about anything spiritual. But in his younger years, and don't forget, when we get born, we've just been in the spiritual world and we just arrived here. So it still echoes on. But when you listen to some of the lyrics he did in the Keeper time, March of Time, you know, Twilight of the Gods, he had this approach and he deals with it sometimes too, but he doesn't live by any of it. He just lives physically. He's just about his lower square. It's just about passion and desire and stuff like that. He doesn't like me to say that, but that's the truth. He doesn't even care about anything spiritual in his life, you know. He has it inside. We all do.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
has
the
it.
point. I think all of us we have
All
a
of us.
little.
That's where we
Yeah,
come from, you know. Some people believe that they don't, but deep down we all know, you know,
sure.
that's where we came from.
Have you started rehearsals for the next tour? Do you have decided which are the songs that are gonna be included?
Oh yeah. They're practicing already. I mean, we of course we play maybe two or three songs from the new album, but we also sneaked in some tracks with.
Can you tell us some of them?
I don't think that I'm allowed to, but it's like
Oh,
it doesn't
This
really matter because
this
as
is
soon as we
Tokyo.
play, everybody will know anyway. But it's like we play, for instance, Twilight of the Gods, which we haven't played since the '80s and stuff.
Oh,
I mean, we
ole.
put some stuff in it that we haven't played for a long time, you know, because we were asking the fans what we did some kind of is it a poll? Do you call it a poll? We asked them if there are particular songs that they would like to hear live, and we were actually quite astonished that it was mainly the songs we do play all the time. So it's like those are somehow key songs they want to hear, but there were some songs among those that we didn't think about, so we added those in. It's not too many, but a few.
Yeah, fair enough.
in my last interview with Kai Hansen, I asked, "Oh, Twilight of the Gods, please." And now
Yeah,
it's
it's
in
in
the
there.
set
I mean,
list. Great.
according to my information, I don't know if they kicked it out already, but it was supposed to be in there.
And from the new album, I bet for Tokyo.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
so. I think so. Yeah.
this
And the
song is
first
going to
one
be.
is really powerful. Yeah, Giants on the Run. I mean,
Yeah.
You are going to start with this,
I
kick
don't
off
know. I
with
yes.
think
this,
so. I guess so. Yeah. I could be. I think so. Yeah. I think that's the plan.
and Yolanda has another favorite, I think.
A little is a little too much. Yeah, for me that is, but I think that is not gonna be included. But I don't know.
It
It's
is. I
not the
think it
best
is. I
special,
think it is.
probably. Oh,
It is.
really?
Single
Yeah.
is the single, I think.
And it reminds me a little bit of the Scorpions. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the verse, I was
Hmm.
hearing like a Scorpions vibe there. No, I mean, Andy writes great shit. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, he knows how to do that.
And taking a look back when you joined Halloween at your 18 years old,
And when I joined, I was 17.
sorry, excuse me, yeah.
But when we started to become active, like doing the first record, I was 18. And I think I turned 19 when we were on the first tour.
And you brought three songs, A Little Time, You Always Walk Alone, and We Got the Right.
Right.
Wow, not bad for a 17 years old
Yeah, that was still
songwriter.
for my school band. But of course, it was much more complicated. The songs were much more complicated, and they just took some parts out of it, and we made one song out of it. It was way more complicated. We Got the Right was like maybe 10 minutes long or something like that, as he used to do stuff, and they kind of simplified it so that it was working.
Yeah, but it's amazing that you create something really big with only 17 years old. I was doing
It's
nothing
pure
with
excitement.
17.
That's the magic behind everything. I was totally into music. That was all I really cared about. I did not have any other idea what to do with my life. And I was excited about particular band, and it gives you a drive. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, look at what some people did as teenagers. I mean, look at Michael Schenker. I think he was 16 when he joined UFO,
Mhm.
and what he was already able to do on the guitar. I mean, he was an inspiration for people like Kirk Hammett, James Hetfield. I mean, they always mention Rudolf Schenker as something they were excited about, and he was 16. It's like excitement about if you're excited about something, it does wake up
Yeah,
possibilities.
but you
Yeah,
agree that this is kind of special. So in some way you were like touched for the magic. I mean, you know that you are special, no?
yeah. I mean, you don't recognize these things yourself. You just notice reactions of other people. You just do whatever you want to achieve with what you're doing. But it's like everything that has magic always comes out of excitement. It comes out of your heart. It has to be a heart. Otherwise, it doesn't have magic. It is always like that. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't have to be music or anything like. It doesn't matter. Anything that comes really from your heart has magic. That's the magical organ.
Did you have the opportunity to join Halloween in Walls of Jericho album?
No, I didn't like it. I was in my school band, and I was out of the school. Um, I don't know if I was still in school or I was just out. I don't remember, but I was able to still use the rooms that we were practicing in. There was like the area of the school where the music happened within the school. Even though I wasn't going to the school anymore, they allowed me to practice in there with my band because my parents didn't have any money. We couldn't have afforded a rehearsal room or anything like that. So that was a great thing. And I remember that it's like every Friday evening I was going to the school and the what is it what is it called the I don't know the English word for it. The guy who takes care of a place, who has all the
Yeah.
keys and stuff like that. He always opened the door, and we were able to go into the school and practice there. And then one evening, Marcus showed up and said, we're looking for a singer. The guitar player doesn't want to sing anymore because his voice is gone after 4 days. So we need someone like you." And he gave me Waltz Jericho. I didn't like it. It was too thrashy. It was just too punky for my taste. I was into different kinds of bands. I was into Maiden, Priest, anything with Dio, Queensryche, but it was always with vocals and more the classical kind of melodies. And Walter Jericho was a bit too thrashy for me. I like it better now, but in those days I didn't like it much. So I did not call them back. But then Mikey called me like a couple of weeks later and said, "Yeah, but we wrote some songs for your voice, and why don't you show up to the rehearsal?" And they had already like key songs for the Keeper records. They had written. Might have been parts of Keeper of the Seven Keys, might have been March of Time. I don't remember exactly what songs. I think Twilight of the Gods was also there already, and I love those songs. When we started to practice it, it was kind of we didn't even say you were in the band. We didn't even talk about it. I was just there. I was singing the stuff, and we continued working. I remember that afterwards. It was never a situation where it's okay. Now you were the singer of the band. We never even talked about it. It was just clear.
Yeah.
And I suppose it wasn't planned to skyrocket at Halloween with the Keepers. Wow, it was
You never plan anything. I mean, I never had any doubt. That was the thing that many people don't understand. When I say that, when we finished Keeper One, I knew that this was going to work. It's just a conviction. I was completely convinced about it. I still remember that I had a talk with a friend, and I was saying, "Oh, it's going to be so cool, when that comes out, and we're going to tour." And he was like, "Yeah, Michael, I wish you the best, but come on." And don't you hear that? It's like, to me, it was so clear that that's great. It's some kind of a youth naivety, but also it gives you a drive because you have no doubt and you have no fear. You know what I mean? Musicians, when they get older, they tend to become more fearful, thinking too much, thinking about career and money more than making music with your heart, and it quickly can become a problem for bands, and it does with many artists. They lose the mojo, they lose the spark because they lose their innocence. And when you're young, it's just naturally there, or you don't get anywhere. Not everybody has that. You have a lot of young musicians who are just in it for the false reasons, but if you have that excitement for music, that gives you the drive, and you can look wherever you want. It doesn't even matter what musical direction. The ones who have a long career and who made a difference somehow, they've always been in there for the music. It was always about the music, and the rest comes with it, and that's fine and whatever and necessary and blah blah blah. But if the music is not why you do this, if the music is just something you use to achieve something else, if that money, fame, girls, whatever it is that motivates some musicians to make music, it's the wrong reason. And the energy doesn't go where it should go. It doesn't go in the music, so it doesn't have the soul that it could have,
Yeah. So, Michael, my history with you, I was born in 1995. So you were out of Halloween. So
You're
unfortunately,
half my age.
yes. So you returned to my life when you started with Unisonic. That was amazing also. It broke
Oh,
my
that was
mind.
great. Yeah.
But what happened with Michael Kiske in these years?
I was off. I was like, I didn't like anything anymore. I was really hating it.
Or with a normal job?
No, I was still fine. I don't know why. I don't know how that worked, but I was always kind of financially still okay. I kept my freedom. Um,
Oh, nice.
I was still having record deals. I was doing my solo records, and the first two were doing quite good, even in Japan and stuff. And then the whole music, when the whole record production or record culture died out the way it did with the internet and everything, that's when it got more tight. But then other things came up. I mean, we're taken care of. People just don't know that. It's like everything happens for a reason. And looking back at my life, I don't even know how it was possible, but it was meant to be that I was able to stay free, because when things got short or I was facing some problems, something happened. Always something happened, and then I was fine again. So it's like it doesn't make any sense to worry. Things will be all right. And if not, that's what you're supposed to experience. But I have the experience; it's always right. It always happens right. You just need to do the right choices again. You have to listen to your heart. That's the thing. You got to make the choices, not with this, with this. And I always did that instinctively. Always did that, and it works out. You end up much more happy.
I have to say that in 1996 you issued an album, an amazing album, Instant Clarity with Kai Hansen, and there are two amazing songs.
Smith.
And Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden, yeah, of course. But there are two amazing songs, Do I Remember Alive and Always, dedicated to Ringo.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't heard these songs for ages. There's a Spanish girl that I'm quite close with, right, for 2 years now. She lives in England, but she's from Spain, and she was actually pointing out to Remember Life that song meant something to her, and Longing on Chameleon, that really got to her and to wake up her spirituality to a certain extent. I always forgot about that song because I usually don't listen to anything anymore when it's done, you know?
Really beautiful songs, both ballads. But I have to say that I want to ask you about if there are songs from Chameleon and Pink Bubbles Go Away, could we include in future set lists for the band? Because there are three songs that I especially love: When the Sinner, Kids of the Century, or The Chance. I think
Oh, Kids of
these
a Century we
songs.
did play. Kids of a Century, I think we played on the first one. I'm not sure about the second one. Did we play it on the second tour? We didn't. We did definitely played it live one time. There's just on the new set. There's no song of mine. Um, uh, that's okay. You know, we got too many songs to play, and other songs, at least for the people who make the choices, have a bit more weight. But of course, everybody will have his own opinion. You know, somebody who likes that song would like to hear that one, and the other one like prefers that song. So you can't please everybody. It doesn't even work within the band to please everybody. So you have to compromise and do whatever. It's like when the Sinner was actually suggested by Sasha, he
Uh-huh.
wanted to play it live. I don't like to play it live because it's not fun to sing. It's just not fun to sing. I don't know. There are other songs that are more fun to sing. We thought about We Got the Right, which I remember was great live. We played that one in the 80s because of this quiet parts, and then it goes up. That was something that worked great live. It had a good atmosphere. I remember that was before you were born. Um, but we didn't do it so far. So this on this tour you won't hear any of my songs.
Okay, so I have other question. You as a singer, which is the moment of your high self-esteem, let's say, and the low self-esteem? And yeah, that's the question. Do you understand?
You mean like what are the moments?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that varies with everybody. I mean, we all go through the phases, but it's like when you when you go on tour, as soon as you walk on stage and you get the energy from the audience, everything's great anyway. I mean, I am usually a quite confident person, but I also do have my down phases, you know, where you are not in the best mood. I think this is just normal. Everybody has that. Everybody has his demons, you know, the
Yes.
trying to bring you down. And this is not just a metaphor. We
So
really do.
you think you are now in the peak, or that was in the past, or
Different.
no,
I'm very
different?
different today. On one hand, I'm way more awake. It's like I notice everything. I'm way more sensitive. It's like I have like three antennas now. You know, when I was young, I had one, and it was not always out. And now I have three, which makes everything much more intense. It's just like I think that has to do with my spiritual evolution. That you just get more sensitive. You just feel people more. I can see more things, which sometimes can be stressful, and it can make you tired when you have this overly sensitivity. It can make you get tired because you're also focused the whole time. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. For the band, I think it is just as great as in the beginning, but different. In the beginning, we had this drive that I was talking about, this drive of youth when you're young. This is something that you can't regain when you get older. You're different. You're not like you were. You can't keep with that naive idealism. Not that way. It changes, but the band is more exciting today. It's like in the 80s, it was the five of us, and it was really punk. It was a lot of punk going down. That's just the best way of describing it. The performances were never about perfection. It was pretty punk or rock and roll, if you want.
Yeah, or teenagers and now adults.
Yeah. And today it's much more organized. Things are way bigger. The places we play are way bigger. I mean, it's much more successful than we've been in the 80s. Not a lot of people are aware of that. I didn't expect that to go down like that, but that's great. So it's like everything is more organized. We have a great management now. But I think also for the band, it's a different band, but it's even more interesting because now you have 7 very different individuals, and everybody brings something else to the table. Everybody has a different way of thinking and comes up with stuff that you wouldn't have thought about. It's very different, but it's great. It is. I think it's almost like it's a circle, and now we're at the same kind of great. It's like in terms of how I experience it, it's amazing. It's great fun again, but of course it's different because we're all aging now. We're all old now.
But talking about highlights in your career, I have to say that you played in the Monsters of Rock in Donington with Iron Maiden, Kiss, David Lee Roth, Megadeth, and Guns N' Roses.
Right. Yeah, that
I
was great.
suppose
I remember that.
some
I remember that. I had for a number of years, I had this umbrella that was a blue umbrella with Iron Maiden on it, and I left it somewhere in a phone booth in the 90s, which pissed me off. And I remember that Lars Ulrich from Metallica, he was in our dressing room the whole time. That was cool. He was always cool. And I also remember that Axl Rose was running away from a policeman.
Whoa.
Fuck. I don't know what was going on, but I saw him run away from a British policeman, which was funny backstage. And I remember Lemmy was there, who was really nice.
Whoa. And by.
Huh?
No, a little bit jealous of you
Oh,
in
that was
this
a
role.
great time, to be honest. It was a great time to be in music. 60s, 70s, 80s, parts of the 90s. And then it all kind of died out. I mean, you still have a bit, but it's nothing compares to when I was young, when I was a teenager. It was amazing. Not just the rock music, everything. It doesn't matter where you looked. It was a very productive time, and you had a huge music culture. And if you would have had an album out that was successful in one country, whole Europe would recognize it, and later on America would recognize it because you would have those TV shows that would play your video. I mean, today you can be a massive, brilliant musician and nobody knows you because they're really difficult to make your way. Everybody tries it through YouTube, but it's flooded because of that. It's like it's even more difficult now to get anywhere. Even YouTube is not necessarily a good thing to do anymore. It's sometimes the only thing they can do because there's not much left. So I'm quite happy that I was young in those years and started making music in those years. And it was a great time. It's quite deserted today when it comes to the music culture, even though they're great people. It's like I discovered my all-time favorite vocalist. It's a girl. She's from the Netherlands. I think she's the best I've ever heard. Best voice, best control, and she has the passion. She has what I told you earlier with the heart. She has the heart, and if she feels good, she can't fake it. If it's not a good moment, the magic's not there. But if it's a good moment, she knocks you out of your shoes. Davina Michelle, check her out. I mean, she's like amazing. She got kind of famous with doing a cover of Pink, and Pink was reacting to the cover, saying that this sounds better than I could ever sound. And then Davina got very big in Holland, in the Netherlands. That's where she's from. But she's to me, she's a master. Like she's like, it doesn't get any better. It just gets, you can sing differently, but you can't get, and she has this magic. If you want to check her out, check out What About Us the Pink song, and then the version where where you see her with braided hair. She has like, it's a TV live recording. She has braided hair. You see the microphone here,
Okay,
and she
yeah.
and that was how I got into her. And she radiates such a wonderful energy. It's on, and she gets the people on the couch. It's a TV show. How they get emotional by her. She has it. She's got it. She has got it. If she is in the right moment. I mean, sometimes she hides behind this American R&B mask, and she does videos where I don't know why she does that, because she's the best the more natural she is, in my opinion. But probably not easy today to be a young lady, in the societies we're living in. I don't know. But when she feels comfortable and lets go, she's like dynamite, magic. Sorry about that.
I thought
No,
that
no,
you
it's
guys.
I
fine.
do that
No, no,
almost in every
it's.
interview. She should pay me.
But I thought that Elvis Presley was your favorite
Oh yeah, he
singer.
still is. I mean, he was just like no other, just as a guy. It didn't even matter that much what music he was doing. It was just his personality that was just so different.
And what about Roy Orbison? Do you know him?
Oh yeah. This is where Elvis stole a lot from.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear "Are You Lonesome," this is so Roy Orbison, and he didn't hide it, but he was such a unique individuality. He made his complete own thing out of it. You know where he learned from, but it was still completely Elvis. That was just one Elvis. I've never even seen him live for real. I was way too young, and when I was
Me
like,
neither.
yeah, weren't even born. But I was like, when he died, I was 8 or 9, something like that. And that's when they started to show him on TV again, and I discovered him. Wow, that's so cool. But it's the charisma, it's his personality. It didn't matter what he would do. If he really took a song, he made it his own, and he gave it magic. And usually his versions were better than the originals. It's just this individual. It's always the individual. It's always the individual charm and the charisma, and he just had it in it. He had more charisma in his little finger than most people
Yeah.
have in their whole being.
Hey, I want to ask you about one of my favorite. Well, Halloween is one of the bands of my life, but I have seen through the years you and Kai Hansen are more than friends. I think it's from in Halloween. I suppose I bet that it's your great friend, your best friend in the band is Kai Hansen. I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have a very special relationship because, like I said, we are so different. I'm really spiritual. Like I've always been connected. Not so much religions. I know who Christ is. I don't need a church for that.
Sure.
And I have no doubts. I believe in him and all that, but I haven't got much to do with religions because that is actually more a trap than anything else. It enslaves you. Truth sets you free. Spirituality sets you free. Religions enslave you if you don't watch it. It doesn't have to, but it happens very often. And Kai is not like that at all, but still there is this connection. This is why sometimes it hurts me when he doesn't want me to sing his songs, When he writes great songs and everybody here sounds great when Michael does it and he wants to sing it. Sometimes it hurts me, because he should want me to sing his songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it creates this particular magic, and he shouldn't forget, I got into the band because he didn't want to do it anymore, and then it worked out great. So why now turning things back, And he will always have spots where he can sing, but he shouldn't want to sing every song, if it works great with me. But it's true. It's a very unique relationship because we couldn't be more different, but still there is this connection. I've noticed that even in Unisonic, when I was doing like interview trips with him, to promote the album. As soon as we got together in a room, there was some kind of magic going on. It was like when we're on our own, it's one thing, but as soon as we got together, it was different. But that's karma. That's the karma thing. We some souls know each other and others meet for the first time, and I know everyone in this band.
But that's good because
An
you can
example
have.
of magic.
Uy, perdón.
Sorry?
No, go for it.
And please, an example of magic. Time to Break Free in 1995 Land of the Free album.
Yeah, great
and
song.
You sang the chorus of Land of the Free. For me, it's the Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 3.
Yeah, and
So,
also Time to
had to be
Break
there.
Free was a great song. It's I mean, that's what I mean. It's like when he writes a song and I sing it, there's a special magic going on, which I think we should use. You know, we shouldn't leave it out. Not everybody wants to hear him sing. I mean, he has his particular fans, you know, and we all like it when he sings, but it is a matter of fact that the majority of Halloween fans want to hear either me or Andy. This is just a fact. It's like we are the more successful singers in this band. And this should mean something, you know, it should.
Did you tell this to him face to
both.
face?
It's just it's a reaction of the audience, you know. I mean, I know we're all are quite selfish sometimes, and if someone is a fan of a particular singer, he doesn't want the other. Of course, that doesn't work like that, because some people like Andy, some people like me, some people like Kai, but there is a tendency, and you can just tell by the success of the Keeper records, who was like, I think 10, 15 times more from the success than Walter Jericho. And even the records that they did afterwards with Andy were more successful than Walter Jericho. And this is an answer by the audience, you know, what they liked. I prefer Dickinson way over Paul Di'Anno. I got into Iron Maiden because of the vocals. It was that energy that Bruce was having that got me excited about Maiden in those days. But Di'Anno has his fans too, and there are some people who prefer him. But when you make a band, you gotta react to the reaction of the audiences a little bit in terms of how you organize things, you know. And Andy and I, we should always do most of the singing because that's basically what we do. Kai also plays the guitar, you know what I mean? Otherwise, we don't have much to do.
Should I? Okay. So coming back to Unisonic, you attended to the festival Leyendas del Rock in 2014. Yes. I think that was the best lineup of the festival in the whole years. You were also, I remember really well because there was a lot of expectation of this band because you were really good. And you were sharing also with Volbeat, which is other of my top bands.
Yeah, they're cool.
So this is not a real question, but I just to mention that you should retake this project in some moment.
I'm open for it. You know, I loved it. I thought Unisonic was great. We had problems with Kai when we wanted to do the second record. He just didn't care. He was just taking care of re-releasing of Gamma Ray and writing bonus tracks and recording bonus tracks and having it remixed. And we were kind of saying, Kai, you want to do another Unisonic record? And he just couldn't care less. So we had this idea. It was no arguments. There was no fight. It was just, we just talked, okay? And we said, Kai, it doesn't make sense. So what if you do your Gamma Ray thing and we get someone else in the band, you know? And we were talking with Gus G by that time. In that time, he was still with Ozzy. Oh, yeah. And actually, Gus G wanted to join, and Dennis and Gus G, they were already writing songs for a third Unisonic record. That was after.
So the work is made.
It began, but then he stepped out of it again. He said, "I don't want to be the replacement guitarist again." He replaced Zakk Wylde and Ozzy, and he did that very well. I think he sounded really good in Ozzy. And I don't think there's anything wrong with replacing a guitar player, if you ask me. You know, if you don't want to do that, you can just make your own bands, and you cannot play in great other bands if they've had a guitar player before. You know.
No, but that's reasonable, I think.
It's understandable, and he said he stepped out of it again, and he said, it's actually stupid not to do it, Unisonic, but I don't want to be the replacement guitarist again for Kai. So he stepped out, and then we didn't continue. And then the Halloween reunion happened. So it never happened. But it would have been interesting to have a third record with Gus G. I'm sure this would have been an exciting Unisonic album, you know. But it wasn't meant to be. And then he was out of Aussie, but then it was over. You know, then it was too late. And now he does his Firewind again, and he looks quite happy with it too, you know.
No, but we have an upcoming interview with him because he has a project with Ronnie Romero. I will tell to him
yeah. We met up. We even met up in Hamburg and stuff, and they already started writing songs together, you know, with him. And I think I understand it. I understand his thinking, but it's also sad because it would have been an album. We would have had a third Unisonic album with Gus G just for the fun of the music. It would have been great to have that record, you know. And now it doesn't exist, and it probably never will, you know.
No, probably no. It will exist. Don't say that, please.
Okay.
I mean, it is. It was always the driving force behind Unisonic in terms of working was always Dennis, you know. So it's like if he needed to be up for it. I mean, he was almost writing everything for Unisonic for the second Unisonic because Kai wasn't doing anything. Kai was just busy doing other things, you know, and that was already a lot on his shoulder, and he didn't want to do it the third time again. That's why we got that's why we got Gus G in, because then he could have written together with him songs, which Kai didn't want to do or didn't really have the energy for or whatever. But it didn't happen. Would have been an interesting album, I'm sure.
We will ask him about.
Yeah.
Okay. Kai
Say
is
hi to
not,
him.
of course. Okay, Kai is not a really spiritual guy, but in Halloween there's another guy that is really spiritual, Michael Wakefield. Am I wrong?
The most spiritual person, I would say, is by nature Sasha. He has this he's really against anything organized. He's even against esoteric somehow, which is a little weird because he thinks it's an ideology, but it isn't. I mean, real spirituality is communication with the angels, really. It's like anything where the religions came from revelations out of the spiritual world that was given to humans, and then we screw it up as we usually do. But he is a spiritual person of its own. But he is by nature a spiritual person. You can talk to him about spiritual things and he gets it. And also Andy, believe it or not, much more. I mean, there's a reason why he writes these lyrics like Into the Sun and stuff like that. His wife is a very spiritual person, and anything that I talk about, he gets it. He's not necessarily the most active person in that direction, but he's very open and he does understand it. Waiki is again a completely different kind of thing. He's also open, but he worries too much. He's too much getting lost in certain thinking patterns, also negative thinking patterns, very often. That kind of cuts it off. You know, he would have to let go more of a lot of the worries he has, a lot of the things, because you need to have a free soul for spirituality. It has all to do with freedom. You know, I mean, he is not an unspiritual person, but he burns a lot of energy, with other things that takes over his mind, you know. And it's like with spirituality, even if your ego is too big, and I'm not saying that about him, I'm just saying about in general, when you have too big ego and you don't go deal with spirituality in a selfless way, it clouds it. Everything gets clouded. You don't even get the information. The spiritual world can't trust you. If we're selfish, it just attracts the demons. The angels don't come near you unless you have a pure heart, or at least try to have a state of your soul that is pure and honest. You know, you need to be honest. If you're not honest, they can't come. I always like to say we always have these kind of old tradition ideas about it, but think about it. When some spiritual information is supposed to be given to you because you need it. Yeah, you need this information to get your life sorted. You need to be trustworthy, right? If you need to be trusted with it. So you have to kind of radiate that light. Okay, I'm ready. You know, I did my work. I got my darkness out of the way. I think I'm ready. And then it's going to come. But there's a reason why Christ said, blessed are the pure in heart, because they shall see God. It's us. If we're materialists, it's us, because we just don't get rid of the darkness. We don't get rid of the arrogance. We don't get rid of our ego. You know what I mean? That's why we stay blind, because everything will be given to anyone who will ask. This is not a lie when he says, whoever knocks will get opened. Whoever begs will be given. This is not just a fantasy.
I want to add a small message, because talking about the spirituality, you as a band, you are giving a really nice message, because, okay, you were in the past maybe angry between
Oh, we were really
between you,
enemies for a while.
but now you are not, I don't know if friends, but you are
Oh
in
yeah,
a
we're friends
good
now.
environment of job, and you are transmitting this to the public.
Yeah, it's a
And
very
that's
good
amazing.
observation. It's a very good observation. I agree with you. And we did this very carefully because it needs to be honest. You know, it doesn't.
But we need this more as a public,
I
because
know. It's a good
usually,
example. It's a good example because we really talked and we really forgave each other. You know what I mean? That's the
yeah.
thing. You need to forgive. Whatever happened, you need to forgive it and then you move on. And that's what we did. And I agree with you. It's a good message. And this is not just, as some people might say, for money or whatever. When I got into the thought of this reunion, I didn't even think about anything in terms of success. I just wanted to get this out of my system. It was important to me to get this negative memory and the negative past out of my system. I don't want to die with it. So when
Yes,
that
it's the only
opportunity
way.
came up, I had a talk with Waiki. We had long talks and we forgave each other, honestly. And it is over. It's fine. It's all good. And everybody is friends now. This is not just and then it turned out to be really successful, which is a bonus, but it was not the main motivation. And I think honestly, we talked about this before. When something's done with the heart, I think this is why it is so successful, because it is in the right spirit. It's in the right mindset. And this is when something gets also supported from the above, you know, when something is happening in the right mindset or heart set.
There are only two power metal bands that can headline metal festivals.
Yeah.
Avantasia, Helloween.
Right. And I've been in both.
When you,
Yeah, true.
of course, and when Avantasia started to be headliner, when you started to sing with Avantasia,
Yeah.
maybe I have to call you Ernie. Do
Yes.
you remember?
Yeah, that was what I mean. That was the time where I was like pissed about everything. I just hated everything. There was a time where I didn't want to have to do anything with it, you know. And Avantasia was the kind of first dealing with it a little bit again. And I'm glad that I did it because it was the whole Avantasia experience was amazing. There's a great people. I love Toby. You know, he's a great guy. And he talked me into doing it, you know. I didn't want to do the first tour. I only did the first record, but I think the second tour I was part of already. So that no, Avantasia will always have a place in my heart, you know. And it was even an Avantasia gig in France where I ran into Michael Wykath, which started this whole idea of a reunion because I realized my anger was gone. I think I told you the story that I was running into him and he looked at me and he said, "What have I done that you can't forgive me?"
Oh.
This is a great statement, you know, and I was there. And I noticed there's no anger anymore. It was all gone. I was like, you know what? I think I've forgiven you a long time
The
ago.
effect of time also.
Yeah, and growing older. And also,
Much of time.
yes, and I also have a different look at the whole thing today. It was meant to happen. I needed to get out of this. I needed to deal with the things that I dealt with afterwards. I needed to have this time on my own. It was meant to happen. There's always a higher reason for everything. You know, the spiritual world doesn't really care as that much that we get what our ego wants. They have a different perspective because we need to grow. The whole meaning of life is to grow, to learn truth, to learn to love, to understand the difference between good and evil, you know, between right and wrong. This is a kindergarten. This is God's kindergarten. There are other worlds out there. There are other dimensions out there. And this is just the beginning. But the meaning behind it all is to learn. And when you go through life and you look back, you notice that that makes sense. When you get older, you see it makes sense. You met this person and this made me go this way. You have this experience and this changed my whole life. Everything's different now just because of that day or that person that I met, you know. There are no coincidences. Yes, there's the free choice. You have to listen to your heart so that you make the right choices. But as I said, looking back at what happened, I needed to be out of the band for those years and do my own thing. I benefited so much from it. And also look at it. I mean, now we can do this. Now we can do the Pumpkin United with 7 people on a stage. We couldn't have done that unless if the history wouldn't have been the way it was, we would not be able to do this now. And this is the bigger party than just the old 5-piece Halloween, you know.
Yolanda, maybe it's time to do
Yes,
our 3 classical questions.
Yeah, just let me just add one thing. You are gonna be in the Rockfest. That is already published in Spain.
Okay, cool.
I am planning to go abroad for other festivals. Maybe Hellfest. Do you have more plans in Spain for the next summer? That's the question. And abroad?
Sure. I'm sure. I mean, the next summer, mainly just festivals planned.
More than one? Because sometimes you have the
exclusivity
in the exclusivity in Spain, maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure there's good. I mean, anywhere where they will invite us to go, I think we will go. You know.
Perfect.
Yeah. And we will. So pretty much all of them. I think we will headline when we play that. That's always great. You know. I don't know. Not all of them. If Maiden plays, of course, Maiden will headline. But most of them we headline.
I have at least 6 albums of Helloween, and any of them signed, and that's really.
We got to do that sometime.
It's really sad.
I've got all my albums signed by Michael Kiske.
I remember you. I remember your face somehow.
Really?
Yeah. I think
probably in Barcelona or maybe in.
I mean, it's not easy to remember people, but I think I remember your face.
Maybe in Wacken Open Air.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. I attended
some
many
faces
many
I remember. Even though there are thousands of people you meet all the time, it's almost impossible. Some people are even disappointed when you don't remember them, but it's like
yeah, it's normal.
It's just there's a limit.
Finishing, which is the first album you bought, but with your own money?
Oh, with my own. I always bought my records with my own money, but not money I worked for. I got it from my grandma or something like that. The first stuff wasn't even music. Before I discovered Elvis, I didn't care for music. It was fairy tale records. There was a German, it's called Huibu, which is about a ghost who lives in a castle, but a very friendly ghost. You know, who's like almost like a clown, always does stupid things and stuff like that. It was very cute. Already spiritual then, right? But that was what I cared about. I bought these records, and when I got into Elvis, that's when I got excited. And my first record that I got, I had it from my sister because she got this Elvis Forever, which was 2 records with a compilation of songs, and I was always stealing the record from her room and listened to it, so she gave it to me. That was my first music record, but the first one I bought, you know what I think it was? I think it was I don't know what the English title is. This Western movie from the 70s with this.
Ennio Morricone. It's like the Song of Death or
or something. It was an Italo Western with this music and with this, it was like, I think that was the first record I bought. I liked the song.
Okay, so next question. I don't know if it has a lot of sense because we usually to ask this to less poor bands, let's say, but if you can have all the money that you can imagine to do a trick on live, on the stage, what would you like to do?
On the stage?
Yes.
I don't know. You know, the thing is, I have a problem with rock bands too overproducing their shows.
Really?
I think it should be about the band.
But it's really typical from German bands, yeah?
Yeah, but don't you think it should be about the band playing that when you have too much gimmicks around? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I know that. I mean, we do some of this stuff too, but it should never be too much. I remember. I got to do another interview soon, but I remember when I saw Michael Jackson's show in the 90s, I thought it was too much. It was too much. It was a circus. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't.
One of your colleagues that is working really good with the stage is Till Lindemann.
Yeah.
Alone, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, but that whole concept of Rammstein, is a different world. I mean, this is not a band that plays music. This is a show. And it's like an entertainment kind of. It's like a trip to hell.
No, but he has now his own project, and it's even worse in the.
Yeah, I mean, they all studied pyrotechnology and stuff. They all know how to do that. Do you know that they spend about at least 300,000 euros every show just for fireworks and stuff like that? I mean, you can only do that on the scale that they're touring. You know, it's insane.
Okay, the last one. Do you remember the first time you cried in a concert? Do you remember the band and the song?
I mean, the last time that I cried for music was Davina. Honestly, she moves me. She kills me. I mean, she did it also. I don't want to forget it. She did a cover of Halo from Beyonce. Check that out. She was really young there, like 22 or something like that. But she kills it. You mean with a concert? I never cry at concerts. I think it's because there's too many people there. But I remember there have been situations where I was moved. You know, it's like. Especially when you see some of your old heroes and they play a song that you in particular haven't heard for a long time, and then sometimes it moves you that you get closer. But I'm a man, you know. I'm a man. I don't cry at concerts much, but it's like you get emotional, especially when some songs. I had that with Maiden sometimes. I even had like my moments with Accept, believe it or not, records that I haven't heard for ages, and then we played with them live, and they play some of the old songs, and just the groove and the vibe, it gets you emotional because you just connect your youth with it, and your memory is kind of connected with the music. I think this is in many ways also the magic of music, that when you were listening to a specific band or a specific song in a particular time of your life, you always kind of connect these emotions with that song. And when you hear that song, these emotions come up, good or bad, you know. But
that's music. Yeah,
that's true.
Yolanda, saludo.
Saludo, yes.
I have to go. There's
yes, Michael, 10 seconds, please. Can you say, hello, I am Michael Kiske from Helloween. Can you check my interview for Stairway to Rock?
With two rock?
Stairway to Rock.
Let me just have it. I can't remember. Let me just have a look.
Stairway to Rock. Instead of heaven, rock.
Stairway to heaven, no. Stairway to rock.
Stairway to Rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Michael from Helloween, and check out this interview from that I did with Stairway to Rock.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Okay.
Has been a really big pleasure for both of us.
Same with me, and we got to do the signing business the next time when you're nearby. Maybe we can meet somehow.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.